that movie called Sliding Doors?
No, what's it about?
It was.
What is Sliding Doors?
All right.
Explain. Please explain.
It was the. I was going to say Gwen Stefani. It's not Gwen Stefani. Who's the woman who plays Pepper Potts in all the Marvel movies?
Oh, her. What's her name?
Her, yeah.
Should I search up her name?
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
That one. I didn't even need my phone for
She
that.
did a film called Sliding Doors, and it was like about like how time works differently, which is all to do with like multiversal theory as well, isn't it? So if you did every choice you make decides a different path. So like they say that different universes or multiverses. So say if you go, hey, do you want to take this drink? And you go, yes. And that's one decision. And then in another universe, you might have said no. And then once that decision, they say that every decision point you reach can create a branched timeline.
Is that the same theory they've got in Loki, where it's like
you watch it?
Yeah.
Great,
where they've got branches coming up, and they're all different realities.
I haven't seen Loki.
I think that's great. Like, I'm not sure how it would work though. Imagine having multiple universes.
So it's multiple universes with multiple versions of yourself. So there'll be one where you're as poor as shit, like you were saying, and then one where you're really rich, and then one where you have.
I wish I was rich.
Chris, you have a large penis instead of a small.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Couldn't say the same about me though.
Nope.
Let's not talk about cock size.
But yeah, they reckon that like every decision in your life creates a different timeline, right? But then multiverse is different like other universes because I don't know. Multiversal theory says there could be another version of you, and it'll be different, but it'll be I don't know. It'll just be entirely different. It'll be unrecognisable.
I generally think it's cool.
But you've got to believe that other life and other things and all sorts of other stuff exists
100%.
first to be able to think about that sort of thing.
I think one question I like coming out of this is, if you could go back, would you go back and would you change anything?
But which theory of, if you're talking about time travel, which theory of time travel do you believe in? Because there are two different types of time travel.
Okay, what are they?
They say.
Do you believe?
What are they?
Do you generally believe in time travel though?
No.
Okay.
Well, I think we're close to. So what I was going to say was like the two. There's the one which is like the Back to the Future time travel theory.
Yeah.
Which is where you've got one timeline, and that timeline stretches forever. So then what you do is, if you get to this point and then you go back to this point, and you change something, then you go back to this point, everything would change. But surely, if that happened, then you would disappear as the person who made the change.
Yeah.
So you would no longer have any memory of what changes you'd made because you'd made the changes, but then things just worked out better for you. And the other one is like the Avengers Endgame theory, which is actually a genuine theory, but it was a thing that they sort of talked about, which is that if you are, say you're at point X and you want to go back to point Y, once you go back to point Y, the future becomes your past. Right?
I love that idea.
The future becomes your past, and then the past becomes your future.
That's cool to think of.
Yeah.
So then, once you go back to the future has both been your past and your future at one point, as has the past been your past and your future.
Okay, so we'll do it based on that theory.
Yeah.
Right. Would you be one of those, let's call them idiots, that say, I'd go back and kill Hitler as a baby?
Yeah.
Like, 'cause I've thought about this. Like, war sometimes brings around good things. Right? It can. So people evolve so much as communities, as cultures, as a human race when war happens. You watch technology change so much. Medicine changes so much. Everything is increased exponentially when war happens.
Yeah.
And the world that we've got now would be so different, but there would still be somebody else that was tyrannical at that point. You had a whole world full of them.
There's always going to be tyrants around. There's always going to be tyrannical people, isn't there?
100%.
Because there's always going to be. There's a really good book called Letters from Gardenia, or Letters to Gardenia, which is actually Robert Llewellyn, who was Crichton in Red Dwarf.
Oh, nice.
He wrote it. But it's about, you know how all these movies and all these TV shows and books, they always talk about a post-apocalyptic dystopian future.
Yeah.
They never talk about post-apocalyptic utopian futures.
Yeah.
And he talks about this utopian future where something happens. I'll give it away for the people that might want to read the book. But they talk about like the future, and then the future is actually much better because what they've done is they've managed to start again.
Right.
So they've got the knowledge that they had from before, but they managed to start again. Not sure where I was going with that, but because
That's fine. It's interesting.
It's cool, yeah.
But I don't think I'd be one of those people that changes things. I like not big events, and I don't think I'd be one of the people that goes back and buys shares in Apple. That sort of stuff.
You wouldn't be able to do that. If we're talking about the time travel theory that you were just talking about, you wouldn't be able to do that. You'd be able to advise your past self on it. Then you yourself would not be able to benefit from it.
Okay, but I wouldn't tell my past self either. I think that kind of manipulation, it's not.
So how would you ever be able to make any? So this is kind of the point.
We'll just fuck up the
how would you be able to make any money?
I wouldn't make money from time travel.
Right.
I'd use time travel to. I want to see like cavemen. I want to see what happened in the Renaissance. I want to see what happened when Richard the Lionheart came back from the Crusades. I want to see what happened in periods of the world. I want to travel back in time, sitting here, back, and see what Brighton was like. See without all the towns, the cities, what everything's going on. But if I think the only thing I would change, I'd go back and tell myself to join the army.
Why the army though?
I grew up in quite a military family. My granddad was,
That's fair enough.
quite high up in the army. And, army or navy. I'd push myself to sort of get more involved and do that.
Because what difference would that make? This is going back to the time.
It was something I'd always wanted to do.
You wouldn't be able to have the experiences. It would branch a different version of yourself.
I know.
Okay,
but it was something I always wanted to do. It was my dream growing up.
Oh, for the army?
Yeah.
Okay.
And loads of reasons came into effect, but I'd like to push another version of myself to do what I never did. Like I like my life, and I wouldn't change a lot because there'd be changes of maybe not meeting my ex-wife and having my children and
of course.
everything. So I'm like, I wouldn't change that much. It would just be little nudges here and there just to make sure that I made the right choices instead of little mistakes.
But that would, okay.
I mean, I would say if I was to travel back in time, like you said, I would want to experience what life was back then.
Yeah.
As in, like, what you were saying about Brighton, what it was like back then. Of course, you're from Brighton. But, like, I would want to experience cavemen. Yeah. If I could travel far.
Experience them or just experience them?
Experience. But as in, like, if I could, like, travel back to, like, when dinosaurs were a thing, fuck yeah, I would love to do that. Yeah, 100%.
Might die.
I don't give a fuck.
I think that, like, if I could go back and had a force field around me, 100%, I'd be doing all that. But there's no way.
You know where you're going to go back to the fucking Cretaceous period or the Jurassic period without some sort of army with you. You just die immediately. It's not your world. It's not your area. Like, and also you'd have to make sure you weren't around the time when that fucking meteor hit the Earth, because then.
I'm sitting here and I'm time traveling back to one moment, but at that exact same moment, a dinosaur's just here, just about to eat something on the floor, and as soon as I turn up, you're like, fuck.
But shit. I want to experience
it for a second.
Yeah, I want to experience things that I couldn't long time ago. For example, dinosaurs, cavemen, the war. I want to
experience the war.
No, not experience, but like, I want to know like what war was actually like back then. I just time travel and experience.
I mean, there's films for that.
Yeah, but no.
What was that one with Dan Walker? Was it Dan Walker?
There's a lot of shit.
Maybe not Dan Walker.
What film?
Who's the guy that passed away for Fast and Furious?
Oh,
Paul Walker. Paul Walker, not Dan Walker.
Dan Walker
Paul
was
Walker.
The crisp guy.
He went back in time and he went to 12th century France. And it was, I think it was the Battle of Agincourt.
What?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it was a really good film.
Oh, right. I thought you meant...
Yeah. No, not in real life.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought the Fast and Furious had just taken an entirely different... Fast and Furious.
No. This is one of his old films back in like 2000.
Too fast, Furious.
No, he goes back and helps the French.
He actually goes back in time.
Yeah, he doesn't mean to. And then he falls in love, meets a girl, ends up with a gun.
Jeez.
And then the reason they found out about time travel and whether he was okay was they were doing an archaeological dig and they found this weapon.
Right.
I might have got that plot completely wrong. Maybe it was a watch, not a gun.
Was it a dream?
Yeah, I don't think it was a dream. I'm vividly remembering all of this.
Too past, too furious.
That's perfect. Would you go back in time?
Hobbs and Blunderbuss. I don't know, man. Like, I mean, I would like to see things back in time. It depends how time works. I mean, if it's even a thing. Because there's that whole. I don't know, man. Maybe.
What about the future?
The future would be interesting. Just to see what it turns out like. But the thing is, if you go too far into the future, then there'll be nothing there. Because shit will just explode anyway, eventually.
The thing's like, I had this.
Because like the Earth eventually will get too close to the sun. And then once it gets too close to the sun, everything will burn, everyone will die.
Yeah.
So you just want to go too far. Also, there could be a comet that's coming to hit us sometime soon, you never know.
Would you travel into the future? Like, yeah.
I think I'd do...
Just like a few minutes. Just see how this conversation ends.
yeah.
Then come back and go, I know what you're going to say.
Maybe like a few years. Like maybe 10 years or something. Just to sort of like stop by and sort of see how my family are and see how I am, if I'm alive. Like what's going on. And if I do find out something's wrong with me, I find out how to stop it.
Find out.
See, that's smart.
Before you're 50, what you look like. When you turn 50, what you look like when you're 50.
That's, 10 years?
Yeah. yeah. It's 13 years. So,
Shit. I'm so
just
glad
go like
I'm
10
young.
years in the future, go, oh, that's what I look like.
Yeah.
Then
I'm the same but grey. Oh, okay, cool.
Same, but a bit grey.
Still fat, but yeah. Shit. Never ended up going to the gym. All that diet.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Did I ever go to the gym?
Yeah.
Oh,
Am
no.
I happy? I'm the same shit. Change that.
Same.
Because based on the same rule, I come back and I know all this stuff. I would get lottery numbers if I go in the future. The past, I wouldn't do anything, but the future, I would. I'd go there, get an almanac, come back.
Wait, so we're back to the future. back to the future.
Yeah.
Or back to back in the future.
I would. I think I would.
Back to back.
Only little bits, but I might use it as like I've made millions guessing games, and then people are like, "How do you do that?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't know."
They just need an octopus for that.
What?
Do you remember the World Cup when they got the octopus?
Oh yeah,
to choose what teams are going to win, and then everyone was like, "Oh, it's a future seeing clairvoyant." That's the word.
Yeah. Supposedly England was going to win everything, but
and then we got one thing since
fucking octopus.
What year was it?
Ruined us.
19.
Ruined everything for us.
I don't know, I think it'd be interesting, but I mean, surely you'd have to travel anywhere to do any kind of because time movement is like data transfer, right? Essentially, it's moving one
You
object
could see it as
data.
that. Yeah, you could see it as that.
What is that?
You could.
But it is that though, isn't it? Like, because you've got to travel, you've got to take one.
You could.
You've got to take one thing and move it to another place, and that is a data transfer. It's any kind of data transfer or some sort of physical transfer.
You're saying we're an email. Cool.
Well, I'm saying, like, if you wanted to do it, like, wouldn't you have to have a thing to receive you to go there, rather than just you build a device and go, I've built a time travel device.
I see where you're coming from. I do see where.
And then you go and travel somewhere. You can't send anything anywhere without something
without
to
any
take you and
information.
receive you.
Yeah.
It would have to be DNA based, right? Somehow.
Maybe. Time.
Maybe like time travel is involving you being born. Maybe.
Maybe it's going to be in your timeline, your own personal timeline that you can travel within, so that your energy and your existence is a thing.
I like that idea.
Yeah, right?
I like that idea.
So, like, you could only travel within the last 40 years. To any point within, since you were born to when you die, but no time outside of that. I've never thought about it like that. It's quite interesting.
I quite like
It's
that.
quite interesting. Yeah, it's actually quite cool.
So you've got about 5 years you can travel within.
Oh fuck you!
But yeah, imagine you've got like a little timepiece, and mine just says 1 day. What?
Oh, wait.
That reminds me.
Have I got 1 day to live?
You know, like
that was a bus.
what's it called? Men in Black 3.
Right.
Will Smith has that little watch that he can like. No, not little watch. It's like a little amulet.
It's a watch.
He can.
Oh yeah, and he jumps off.
He jumps
it's
off.
like a stopwatch, isn't it?
Like you can set the time, the day, where you want to go.
But would you have to? I mean, the thing I really loved about that is that they made him go to the top of that.
The top of the
It was at the
Eiffel
Empire
Tower.
State Building,
Yeah.
and they had to jump off because he had to hit. Was it
a certain.
what's the terminal velocity? It's like 30. Is it 36 seconds per second? 36 seconds per second or something like some
Did
scientific.
they do it by kilometres on Men in Black?
Well, I think that'd be quite cool. Man, just have a little amulet, date time, travel back in time. I think that'd be quite cool.
Yeah, that'd be wicked.
Without the whole data, this, and that.
Yeah.
Like, he even saw himself as a younger version of himself, like 6 years old.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to see me as a young person again.
What was he like when he was young?
I mean, I was a prick when I was young.
I was reckless as fuck.
Have you ever watched that episode? Oh, you wouldn't have seen it, but you might have done. Do you remember Red Dwarf? Time slides.
I think so.
But the like development fluid like mutates, and then
Oh yeah.
the pictures that they put them in a slide machine, they go back to see themselves.
Yeah, that's a long time
And
ago.
Lister, it was a long time ago. That was in like the early 90s.
Yeah.
And Lister goes back and sees himself,
Yeah.
and his younger self is a fucking dick in some Liverpool like
Yeah. I
like
remember
back
that.
alley drinking like back alley scouse drinking establishment, and he's just like, it's totally shady, man.
Oh,
And he's
I'd
just
go
like,
back with my long hair, my emo hair.
What colour was it? Green?
Oh no, this was after the goatee time. I had long hair that came down here. I remember we're having hair clips.
Jesus.
Yeah, I used to put it out because it was so long. I had to get it out of my face.
got hair clip.
I had a blonde streak in the front, long emo hair, the skinniest jeans known to man. Yeah,
I
I
do-
could fit in 28 size jeans. Oh yeah,
I do remember.
12 inches later, I'm here.
Oh, hello.
Not that, not that.
I thought we were talking about penis size.
No, sorry. I mean, not far off.
Big dick.
Yeah, I'd go back. I'd love to go back to see my kids born again. That'd be cool. But imagine, like, I'd see myself in that room. I'd be that weirdo looking through the window. Like, how would I get in and see it? Yeah. Hello. I'd love to do that again.
Well, would they just be like, James, get out? Like,
Oh.
sorry.
Yeah, I've got a twin, by the way.
Yeah. Sorry, that the relevant to that is.
Yeah, that'd be creepy. Yeah, and it's like going back to see my
You can get
daughter
away-
young.
So you're uniquely, you can get away with it because you've got a twin.
We don't like. We look exactly the same, but completely different.
Oh yeah, no, I
Yeah.
but,
So like people from my past would know that. I'm-
mannerisms and stuff.
Yeah, because they'd be like, "Is that you again? What? Yeah.
Is that you again?
Is that you again?
Is there a triplet we didn't know about?
Do you time travel?
Time jump?
I'd love to do that.
If you had the opportunity, would you? And you can't come back. One
And I
time
can't
opportunity.
come back.
As in, if I say, oh, sign this paper, go back, let's say 10 years, but you can't come back, would you?
No.
Nah.
You wouldn't.
Nah. As much as
Would you be an
my
entity? Sorry, go on.
as much as my situation is quite intense at the moment, I would lose what I've got. There's no definite for me to have my daughter or my son. I would go through all the heartache, all the pain, everything all over again.
Okay,
I wouldn't risk it.
let's say
But if you think
none of that
about it-
happens.
None of that happens.
None of the heartaches, the bad stuff.
Yeah, but if
this,
you think
that.
about it, if you time travel from now back to a point at which you already existed, depending on any type of time travel that you think about would involve this. If you, Chris Streeter, went back now to 20 years ago, say, right, 30 years ago, you don't exist. The other you exists, but you don't exist anymore. So none of your bank cards, none of your life, none of your address, none of your nothing, like, exists
thing.
for
Yeah.
you. So you, Jaydee, like, nothing that, I mean, if you went back 20 years, you wouldn't
I'd be dead.
You wouldn't be born.
Yeah, I would still be in the
So,
wheel.
do you know what I mean? Well, 22 years or something, you wouldn't even be there. So there would be absolutely no fucking record of you. So, but you would not be a person. You would be completely non-existent.
That's crazy to think about.
If you think about it, yeah.
Yeah.
I would not even. I would
So
just be a
nothing that
little.
you have, you wouldn't be able to be you anymore, like, because you already exists. So you would then have to make a new you,
No, I'd have to kill
or kill
Kill
me,
the other
old
yeah,
you,
yeah,
and then
old me to take
and
over.
then suddenly you go
Yeah.
into work and like you're 20 years older.
Would I go younger as I go back?
No, that's not how time travel would ever work.
Oh, then what's
you'd
the
go
point?
back
Because it's
in
your
time the way
current
you look
self.
The
going
way I
back
look.
there.
Oh no. Absolutely no. No. Couldn't.
Yeah, the current you wouldn't be. You wouldn't exist in the future, but you would look different to your current self.
Or just be like a little sperm cell, just and jeez.
Yeah. Well, if you could travel back into your sperm self, would you do that?
Fuck no.
Am I completely lucid and I'm thinking like this?
Like, you'd be you now.
I mean,
Yeah, you'd be you now.
but you'd be you now in the past.
I'm a big sperm. Imagine the size
That's
of
not
that.
what I meant. I'm talking to
dick.
him about being
Jesus.
I thought you meant you now going back to...
Yeah, on the same theory, I go back to be a sperm. I'm fucking. I turn up, my dad's bell end just goes. Okay.
Well, you kill your dad.
It'd explode. It'd explode. I'm like, what's
How
I'll
would
be
you
there,
ever
like.
be able to
Fucking hell.
be- Oh, that's...
Well, that escalated.
yeah.
That escalated to something weird. Yeah.
Big
Time
sperm
travel,
cell.
that's
Yeah.
the theory.
That's it. Yeah, that's what happens. You
But that
just-
would work,
You just
right?
go back into a ball sack. But hold on, if you went travel back as a ball sack, as a sperm, and you went back into the ball sack,
be
and
conscious.
then that sperm, which you're unconscious,
That'd
you're
be so
you're
weird.
unconsciously that sperm, and you go zzz, back into the past, and your dad dies because you just immediately explode him, right? So then,
But then how am I born? Because
then
he's
you
dead.
would just be a massive sperm in the world, just wriggling around on the floor.
Wiggling around. That is so
Do you know what I mean? You'd be
weird.
like,
But then,
I don't know what sperm
but then if my dad
has
has just died, how do I then exist?
I don't know.
Right?
I mean,
We
I haven't fleshed
need
the theory out yet.
we can't do normal time travel.
Time travel.
Time travel.
That's what you said.
Movie time travel.
Yeah.
That's what we want. I think.
I don't know. I don't think any time travel involves you becoming a sperm again.
No.
Of course not.
Although there should be a film written about this.
The Sperminator.
Dun, dun.
Yeah, take that.
Spermpocalypse. Everyone just travels back and becomes huge sperm. But you look like massive whales with no face. Not
Yeah.
massive whales, just small whales. Man.
How would I feed?
How does
Photosynthesis.
sperms feed?
Photosynthesis. No,
No,
because that's the sun. I'm in a sack.
That's plants.
Yeah, I'm in a sack.
Yeah, you're not a plant. You just absorb moisture around. I don't know how sperm feeds. I don't think they do. I don't think sperms have dinner.
I don't really want to think about being my dad's jizz.
I mean, you were.
I mean, you once were. You still
You
are.
were.
He still is. You still are.
Who's
I'm still
Bosworth? I'm not a sperm.
Well, I was a sperm.
You are a sperm.
I'm just let one off.
I'm just the leftover of a fun time. That's sad.
One time, not a long time. Jeez.
It's not going to mine, but because this is going out on the internet.
Oh yeah.
But beep beep. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, I don't think that's how time travel works. Hello.
No, but-
looking at the monitor again.
Maybe time travel would be good.
Cool.
Pew, pew, pew.